Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is March 7, 2023. Today, the market have another down day after J Powell start his congressional testimony this morning. And we see the market start dipping as soon as that start. So here's what it did, the market on these indexes. We see the Russell 2000 was the best performer. It's only down 1.1%, while the Dow Jones Industrial was down 1.72%. or 575 points. And the S&P 500 was down 62.1.5%, and the Nasdaq 100 was down 150 points, 1.22%. And also you can see that the S&P 500 finished with a evening star type of pattern, and it's getting close to the lower range of the expected move. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that price come down and get into this lower range tomorrow or the coming days, and I will show you why when we take a look at the market internal later on in this video. So just keep an eye on this 39.71 and 39.50 level, this zone here for the coming days. And if it dips down here, then we're gonna watch to see would it get a bounce here off of this 3900 area. And if it doesn't, then we'd be looking for the possibility of coming down to this 3818 area. Now let's take a look at the sentiment and also the internals on this chart here. You can see that the VIX came up to this 19.59, so it's still underneath the below the 2030 zone. So outside of that, so we'll be watching to see would it come back into this 20 level, get above the 20 level. Now, the put-call ratio is above 1, so definitely there are more put buying than call buying. So right now, the market participant seems to be a little bit more bearish and risk-off. And here, looking at the daily advanced decline, you see that there were 1,793 more declining stock than advancing stock, and the up-down volume ratio was favored 5-1 on the downside. But still, we are getting 17 more new 52-week high than 52-week low in the New York Stock Exchange. And here's the thing to watch. You can see this cumulative AD line is actually making a bit of a lower low here, but the S&P 500 is still closing at a higher low. So that's a negative divergence. So that's why I'm expecting we see a lower value on the lower level from the S&P 500 in the coming days to resolve this negative divergence. And looking at the Nasdaq market internal, you see there were 1,878 more declining stock than advancing stock, and also 3.5-1 in favor of the down volume today. And the Nasdaq market continued to have more 52-week low than 52-week high. And the cumulative AD line is also making a lower low, while the Nasdaq 100 is above this previous pivot low. So we are seeing a negative divergence in the Nasdaq market as well. So I'm also looking for lower value here from the Nasdaq 100 in the coming days. And looking at this intraday chart here on the internals, as you can see, this advanced decline, this kind of give us a clue that the market is going to see more weakness throughout the session here. See it turn negative here shortly after the open. And also looking at the ticks, you see how many of these ticks is below minus 500, and also the cumulative tick, it's just getting more negative throughout the session here. So very few positive 500 ticks, by program. So mostly is on the sell side. So here's another chart of the intraday that we can see the internals. Here is the new high, new low, but the key thing to watch is here the up-down volume ratio. We got a little bit of a positive push up at the open, but then you see it is all negative throughout the session. And also the put-call ratio came up shortly after the open. And the advanced decline, we have a little bit more advancing issue than declining issue at the open, but then you see that it just went negative. So it was dominated by more declining stock than advancing stock throughout the session. And looking at the SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500, we also see the SPY put in a more of a evening star type of pattern. So tomorrow, we're going to see we'll dip into this lower range of the expected move between 396.70 and 394.50, and see would it get a bounce off of this trend line here. Right now it's inside of this high volume zone here, this balance area. So we might get a bounce off of this this trend line or this edge here. So we'll keep an eye on that. But if it doesn't, then I'd be looking for the SPY to come down to this 387 area, this low volume zone here between this balance area and this balance area. And we'll see then, basically come down to back test this trend line. And if it doesn't get a bounce back up off of this trend line and dip into this balance area, then I'd be looking at the possibility of price coming down to this 378 level in the coming days. All right, looking at this ES market profile chart, as you can see today, the profile cleaned up a lot of these poor structures here, single prints from here, and also here, and also took out the point of control and the single prints here. So it repaired pretty much all this poor structure from March the 3rd. And also right now we have a poor low, also the poor low from March the 6th got tagged. Today left these poor structure here. We see that there is a set of single prints here between 40.47.5 and 40.40. And the POC is at 40.17.25. Got a small single print here between 39.99.25 and 39.98.75. In addition to that, also finished with a poor low at 39.82.50. Now notice that the FOMC, last rate announcement, the FOMC meeting announcement was at 40.73. Remember, we were saying that we're looking for a back test. Yesterday came up for a back test, and it failed to be able to reclaim it. And as you can see right now, it is under this FOMC scene of the crime or the line in the sand, that 40.73. So we're looking for possibly lower value in the coming days. And looking at this daily chart of the ES, the E-mini S&P 500, see that it's printing a little bit of an evening star type of a pattern here. So we'll see what tomorrow this actually dipped down into the lower range of this weekly expected move between 39.77 and 3/4 and 39.50. So we'll see what it come down to this this zone here, and possibly also get into this low volume zone between this balance area and this balance area. So if it doesn't get a bounce back up, we could see price move into this balance area, and we could see it work itself down toward the 37.95 in the coming days. So we'll see would it be able to get a bounce, and if it does, then we'd be watching this trend line or this zone here, this little bit of a low volume zone between somewhere near this 4100 area. So those are the price zones that I'll be watching tomorrow, is this lower range of the weekly expected move, and also this 39.50 area. That's the quick recap for the day. And by the way, if you're interested in learning how I set up this fixed range volume profile in TradingView and how you could use this fixed range volume profile for free, go click on the link in the description below. I also have put out this video to show you how to get the fixed range volume profile, set it up the way that I have set up here, and also a couple tips and tricks on how to easily look for these low volume zone and put in these price zone here. So go ahead and give it a watch and let me know what you think. Be sure to smash the thumbs up to help me promote this video. And if you are new to this channel and you'd like to continue to watch these content from me, be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching and stay safe.